Big shout out to my co-host Zach of the Roll Skull podcast because he has pointed out several times now that there seems to be a food theme in the Yamato cover story as of late. And I think these food items could either represent characters or families to start off with, and then the later half of them could start to represent individual Straw Hats. So to start us off in chapter 1115, we have Hiyori and Otoko making a bento box for Yamato's travels. This bento box is then eaten in chapter 1118. Now, the bento box itself probably isn't important as an item. I think the importance lies in who actually makes said bento box, which is Hiyori, and I think that kind of just represents perhaps Hiyori herself, as she did make Zoro food when he defeated Killer way back during the Wano arc. Then the next food item we have on the list are dumplings prepared by Utsuru, as she gifts them to Yamato along with some medicine within a bundle in chapter 1116. This could represent Tama specifically, or the Kurozumi clan as a whole. Because, as we found out in the latest batch of Vivid cards, Yamato is possibly a Kurozumi, as Kurozumi Higurashi is suggested to be her mother, which is a whole thing in itself. On the flip side, this could just represent Tama specifically, because Tama's millet fruit, or Kibi Kibi no Mi, was a big part of the Wano arc as a whole, as a millet or a kibi could be seen as a type of dumpling. So that makes some sense to me. Following that, in chapter 1123, we see Yamato, Denjiro, and some kids sitting down to have Oden. Of course, Oden represents Odin, the guy that Yamato is modeling herself after. So that's an easy clap. That makes sense. Not too hard to figure that one out. I can see that making a lot of sense to me. Additionally, this could represent the 9 scabbards as a whole, because all of them served under Odin, and one of the 9 scabbards actually gifts Yamato with this meal. So that's a bit of going out in the fields a little bit, but I think that's not too ridiculous to say. Continuing though, in chapter 1126, we see Yamato at a soba shop enjoying some soba. Now, I think this is our first Straw Hat representation, as Sanji ran a soba shop during Wano, and a cover for his stealth black persona was Soba Mask. Sanji's favorite food is spicy seafood pasta and food that complements black tea. So, his favorite food is pasta, and soba is a type of pasta, you could say. So I think that is where we get our first Straw Hat representation, because both in Wano and out of Wano, Sanji has a strong relation to noodles. Following that, in the next chapter, chapter 1127, we see Yamato sitting down with Inugarashi, eating some rice balls. I think the rice balls represent Zoro, because Zoro's favorite food is white rice, seeking meat, and anything that complements ale. So seeing as how his favorite food is white rice, and he has an attack literally called onigiri, and they're literally eating onigiri, I think this is our second representation of a Straw Hat in the food-related adventures of Yamato. So we'll see if this continues into 1128 and beyond, but these are the things I noticed thanks to Zach pointing them out. But with that being said, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede What's It?